What's up, everyone? This is the Next Tape Podcast, episode 125, with Mikel and
Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So today is a topic episode, and yeah, uh, you have a fresh batch of topics to give you, Tanyka.
Mhm.
We want to
Yep.
present it.
Yep. So we're going to be talking about this is pretty neat. People who keep their phones on silent. That might
Mm-hmm.
potentially mean something about you if
Mm-hmm.
you do that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about license plates reader that catches a wanted man, and Ontario is boosting their fertility spending. So I thought, those are the three topics that we're gonna talk about.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
So the first topic. So a new study from Kyung-hee University explores how phones in silent mode may hold the key to a healthier minds at work. Um, Researchers examined whether a mobile mindfulness training program could improve stress, burnout, and would engage among office like workers. So
Mm-hmm.
the trial at Kyung-hee University included 114 participants randomly assigned to either an experimental or control group.
Mm-hmm.
So those in the experimental group use a mindfulness app called In Mind for 4 weeks, while the control group delayed their participation until the second half of the 8-week study.
Mm-hmm.
Assessments were conducted before the program at the end of the 4 weeks and again at the 8-week mark. Outcomes included burnout, perceived stress, engagement at work, mindfulness, and vitality.
Mm-hmm.
The study found clear benefits to the mindfulness app, which reduced stress and increased focus among participants. Some of the strongest results were linked to participants who adopted broader lifestyle changes alongside the app, such as silencing their phones. Um, I'm going to have a little tidbit at the end because it's kind of reminded me of an app that actually I use, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk about that at the end. Some people never let their phones make a sound. The habit raises more than a few eyebrows, psychology research says. The choice speaks volumes, even though there's no volume. I see what you did there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Same quote, your cognitive capacity is significantly reduced when your smartphone is within reach, even if it's off. Interesting. And this was said by Adrian Ward, who is an assistant professor at the McComb School of Business, University of Texas at Austin. According to a study by Ward and colleagues, even a silent phone pulls at the mind. People who mute their devices often tuck them away as well, reclaiming cognitive capacity and a calm workspace. The
Mm-hmm.
absence of chirps removes the expectation of immediate responsiveness or even like a vibrate because you can not only hear that, you can still feel that as well, right?
Yeah, you can still feel it, but like, when
Yeah.
it's silent, yeah, you
But
tend
like
to
they mean legit
just
silent mode, not vibrate, where it's like
mhm.
you still
Yeah,
know you're getting a notification.
yeah.
Or silent mode, you have no clue if it's also
Mhm,
turned upside down,
mhm,
or just completely out of your space.
mhm,
Um, that choice signals respect for personal boundaries. They decide when contact happens instead of letting a ringtone choose the moment. Over time, friends and colleagues learn to text first and wait, reinforcing the owner's sense of autonomy. The boundary is not a wall that shuts people out. It is a gate that opens on the on the owner's schedule, a subtle
mhm, mhm.
distinction that turns silence into courtesy rather than avoidance. So, I mean, if you think about it, if someone doesn't, and not everyone is like this, but if someone doesn't answer you right away, some people can feel like they're entitled to a response right away
Well,
when it's like, no, you're not entitled to that.
basically, what I would do is tell them I'm at work and I'll talk to you later.
But
That's
it's
what
even then, like, why do you need to do that? That's the point I think they're trying to make is
Mhm,
if someone isn't answering you, it's not because they're trying to ignore you.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
more about like just have the expectation or the realization, better yet, that
mhm,
maybe someone just is just busy. Like I mean, also I know my boyfriend's schedule, but it's like
mhm,
if
mhm.
he doesn't text me right away, I don't have this expectation that he should be texting me right away.
Right.
He's either working or even if he's not working and he doesn't text me right away, it takes a bit for me to be like, what's going on? And when I mean a bit, I mean like minimum 3 hours before before like I realize, oh, he hasn't answered me. And
Mhm,
it's not even, I have this expectation that he needs to. It's more of, that's unusual. Is like, where is he? Is he okay? Which I've been in that situation where it's like, why aren't I hearing from him? Especially if I know he should be texting me at some point or whatever. So it's just having that healthy boundary of, I don't know, just don't expect like even if I've texted you about whatever and you'll respond like kind of like what you just said, you'll
mhm,
respond back saying, "Oh, I'm at work or I'm going to work or whatever, I'll do this later."
mhm,
I
mhm,
don't even need that from you. I know like if I tell you, "Oh, this episode needs to be released" or whatever,
mhm,
um I don't need you to respond to me honestly in
mhm,
like saying, "Oh,
mhm,
I'm going to work."
mhm,
'Cause I know chances are you probably are at work or you're going to
mhm,
work or whatever. And at some point in the day, you're going to do it. So
mhm,
I think maybe that's also me. Everyone's different, but I don't know if
mhm,
it's just also this level of maturity
mhm.
or not dependent on a response from someone.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Everyone's different. That's,
Yeah,
yeah,
because people will ask you, "What were you?" I was like,
none of your
not the right
business.
when I finish at work. No,
That's
I
what I
would say
would
that.
say. None of your damn business.
I said I was at work the whole entire day. I was like, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, my
But
bad, my fault."
honestly, as like I don't know exactly what who is asking those questions,
Mhm,
but when if anyone were to ask me a question like that, which
mhm.
it doesn't usually people don't usually ask me questions like that.
I feel like that's usual, and for me, yeah.
I
Like,
don't know, maybe it's the people you're around, but I
uh-huh,
don't typically have people asking me, "Where are you?"
uh-huh,
Unless it's not even my boyfriend really does that. He'll
uh-huh,
more be like, "Oh, are you in the office today?" Or something like that.
uh-huh,
My mom might my mom will, do that, but, um, it's if someone
mhm,
were to ask me that, like, I'll be totally honest with you. If you were to ask me, "Where are you?" or "Where have you been?" or "Why
mhm,
whatever, I would literally be like, "Why? Why do you need to know?" Because I
mhm,
feel like I think that's me setting a boundary where it's like, on one hand, I'm not saying this is what you would be doing, but on one
mhm.
hand, it's kind of like, are you doing that because I didn't answer you right away, or you're tracking what I'm doing, or what? To me, it's like I need to set a boundary and be like, why do you need to know?
Right.
Like, what is it? What is it to you? Like, how does me telling you where I've been or what I did today impact your life? What difference does that make for you if I answer that question? I think that's just kind of
Oh,
where I've become, like what I've been, like kind of think. I don't know. I never used to be like
I
that.
I mean, it probably impacts them because they want to talk to you, right? They want to have
But
a conversation,
why can't you be patient? You're not
or
entitled to my time.
mhm,
If someone were to message me and it takes me a bit to answer you back, then take a beat, do something during that time. I don't know what. And when I answer you, then I answer you. You're not entitled to my time. No one is really entitled to my time. Not even my boyfriend is entitled to my time.
mhm,
I That's a privilege. So it's the only person I need to worry about is myself. And I don't expect people's time, nor should you expect mine. I think it's just me setting a healthy boundary. Um, because I'm like, it's also
mhm.
me protecting my mental health, my space, and all of that. You're not
So,
entitled to my time.
So I know you said this before, but what about like a
Mm,
family member? Like, what if they're just like, "Oh, I've been trying to call you, but I don't, like I've been trying to call you all day, but you didn't answer your phone." Blah blah
take a
blah.
hint. Take a take a hint.
Well, what if that? What if it's a safety issue? What if a family member like fell down the stairs or
Well,
etc.
what I'll say to that is if I'm noticing someone is
Yeah,
calling me repeatedly and it is a family member,
yeah,
then obviously I'm going to catch on sooner than me being all day. Like if
mm,
I'm seeing my dad's calling me or my grandmother's calling me or whoever, like people in my immediate family, if I'm noticing that you're calling me constantly, then yes, I'm going to be like, okay, something's going on because that's not typical. Because obviously, like my phone's near me. If I'm not necessarily staring at my phone all the time, I'm connected to my phone in some way. Um, so I'm going to notice. Um, but if it's not an emergency and you're calling me down and I find out it's not an emergency, that's still going to piss me off. I'm not going to lie, that's going to piss me off because I
mm,
wouldn't do that to other people because you are creating this atmosphere of worry for somebody for nothing. That's going to piss me off.
mm,
So no one has ever done that to me though. I'll just say that straight up. Um, but like I said, if I'm noticing, because that's not typical, people do not call down my phone like that. Um, Not my mother, not my father. No one does that in my life unless it's important. So I'll know that. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I stand with that. Um, but
mm.
yeah.
So, well, this is a slightly off topic.
Mhm.
Like, there's like these types of phones, like the dumb phone. Have you heard of those types of
The
phones?
which one?
Dumb phone, dumb phones.
No, I've
Like,
never heard of them.
they're like minimalist phones.
Is it kind of
So
like the old school like flip phone or something kind of
it's not
idea?
flip phones. It's like
But like
they're
the
like
old school phones before a flip phone type of idea. Like a old
yes, I
Nokia
would say yeah, I
kind of
would say
idea.
so. But like
Okay.
it's like yeah, it's like that. But like
Damn, I call
it's
those
like
dummy phones now. That was like my first phone.
yeah, they're called those dumb phones because
Okay.
like basically
Oh, basically they're not smartphones 'cause they're dumb. Got it.
yes,
Got it.
yes,
Understood.
because they don't have social media. They don't have
Damn.
a lot of stuff
They
on there.
weren't dumb phones. They were the only options when we were like
Yeah,
younger. Come
yeah,
on now.
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. They call those well, they're very minimalist. It's
Yeah.
basically you just have a calculator.
Mhm.
You just have
God damn,
your
sometimes you even have
text
those.
tap. Yeah, yeah,
You didn't even have a calculator back in the day on a phone.
yeah.
Damn, okay. We're
Calculator,
up in the world.
phone, text message.
Mhm.
Uh, what
Like the
is it?
old school way of texting, where you
Yes,
have to
yes,
press
those.
each number like a million
Yeah.
times.
I
Yeah.
mean, like it's still like a smartphone. It's there's different types of models now. Like there's different like Android phone. So like it's still like there's a flat phone like what we have like those types of phones,
Mhm.
right? But it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very just like I would say essential. Like so like it's
No, I understand what you're
yeah.
saying. They're calling them dumb phones, but they're
Mhm.
basically the phones that we used to have
Mhm.
prior to a smartphone being a thing
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
became popularized. Like they're
Yeah.
the type of phones that I had.
Mhm.
I had those phones until I was like 17,
Mhm.
18 years old.
Mhm.
Those are the type of phones that we're talking about. They're not an
Yeah.
Android smartphone or I mean, no one has Blackberries anymore, but it's not BlackBerry or Apple
Yeah.
or anything like that. It's
But
just
yeah.
a
Yeah.
typical phone
Yeah.
that you just use for phone calls, maybe pictures if you're lucky, and
Mhm.
that's it.
Insurers, yeah. And
Yeah.
then they called instead of like, call them apps, they call the tools, right?
Hmm.
So like, yeah, very so like there's a small community for that.
Mhm,
and they just use that for like, for for centralized. So like to
mhm,
just like detox away from social media and
mhm.
from the apps that are just like, in their way, because like, apps kind of distract you in a lot of ways, and social media kind of distracts you as well. So yeah, there's like those types of phones are like, picking up steam now because like people want to detox away from, social media and a lot of distraction on their phone. So yeah, I found that out like the other day, that there's like new styles of phones that are going that direction. I don't know, there's a phone called a nothing phone. I'm not sure, 100%
No
sure.
clue what that is.
It's in it was created. It's only in America, but like they're looking into try to, distribute it in the worldwide. And there's another phone that I know about, and I can't remember the name, but what they do is they have it's still a smartphone, but there's a button on the side. You get to just turn
Oh,
off the
interesting.
yeah, yeah, and it would just be like
So you can
that.
kinda switch between
Yeah.
modes.
Yeah. So like that's pretty cool. Like you can, if you feel like you don't want all the distractions, you can hit that button. 'Cause I feel like all phones should have something like that. But like, um,
Yeah, but
you
I
know,
think also, like, I mean, again, different, but I think I feel like nowadays, I think people are starting to realize they
mhm.
have to be a little bit more disciplined and kind of create your own detox away from social
I
media and all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I feel like it's becoming a little bit better that
Mhm,
people are realizing that doom scrolling, not maybe a good idea. Um, so, taking or if you're going to,
mhm,
there
mhm,
should be limits. Or maybe, shouldn't do before bed or that kind of thing. And so I think that people are starting to realize that a little bit more. I do wish though, and again, this is totally off topic as well, but
mhm,
I really do wish because again, like I'm not heavily on social media. Like Facebook is probably my biggest thing, but again, Facebook, I tend to scroll maybe 5, 10 minutes tops at a time.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
Um, my biggest thing is like the short videos.
mhm.
Um, like I've said before, I have like the few creators that I like to watch and
Right,
um so I'll watch like some of those videos
right.
and maybe I'll refresh like the shorts
Mhm,
um a couple times or one time or whatever and I'll watch them and whatever. That's kind of the gist of what I'll do and I find
mhm,
like I don't do that a lot. I don't go on Instagram, I don't do TikTok, I don't do any of those things. Um So I'm not, like, too crazy with stuff like that, but the one thing I don't do that I find people do so much, and it drives me absolutely up the wall, y'all, anyone who does this, think long and hard about whether or not you do this, and know that I'm cursing at you when you do.
mhm,
If you are walking, especially downtown, put your phone down and watch where you're going. It drives me bonkers because I don't even do that. My phone, like, I'll be listening to Spotify or whatever. My
mhm,
phone is in my purse, and I am walking from GO train to my office to GO train, and if I go out of for lunch, it's still, like, in my purse, or if I'm not really traveling with my purse, I'm just gonna use my phone to pay. I'm just holding the phone in my hand, but I'm not looking at it while walking. Drives me absolutely bonkers that I see people do this. And it doesn't matter the age, young, old, doesn't matter. They all do it. And it's so annoying.
mhm.
And I'm like,
See,
cut it out.
yeah, yeah.
What
See,
is so important?
I have a problem with people. Um, when they have their phones in their hands, it's okay to have it on the sidewalk, it's okay.
But
But
again,
when you're crossing the
if you're
road,
going to do that though on the sidewalk,
yeah,
go off to the side. Don't stop in the middle of the goddamn place. Move over
yeah,
if you're going to do that,
I
which
do
I've
that.
done. I've done that, but I'll
It's
move out the way.
it's okay to do that. So it's all right.
No, I don't like
I
that.
feel
You
I
gotta
feel
say,
like
you gotta
it's
take it out of the way.
I feel like people will know to move out the way when
No, I've seen it many times. You
I'm
may think that. I've seen it
I
many
I do
times.
I do it often, but I'm always looking up and looking at my phone, looking at my
Yeah,
phone
that
just
still
to
drives me
just
nuts
to,
because chances are, like,
to
I guarantee you, you think you're probably moving okay, that
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not. You're not. You're
No,
most
I am.
likely moving slow as hell.
No, I am. I mean, I moved to
Maybe,
the
maybe you
when I
are.
see
Maybe you
somebody, I'm
are.
like, when I see somebody that's coming my way, I'm like looking up and be like, okay, I moved
But
to the
you at
side.
least you're sensing that people are around you, and
Yeah,
that's actually better than some people
yeah,
because some
yeah,
people
yeah.
don't sense it or don't give a shit. That's
And
probably the better thing. They just don't
and
care
yeah, and then there's another side of people that just look at their phone while
constantly.
they're going on the road. Like they go on the
Mm,
road, like the road where like people just drive. I'm like when they cross the road, I'm like I just put my phone down as soon as I
yeah,
cross the
I
road. I
never
don't-
cross. Like if I do look at
Well,
my phone, I
yeah,
might look at my phone while waiting for a
yeah,
light to change or
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. But when
Um,
I
but
put it
I
down,
usually put it back in my purse
yeah,
when I'm crossing the street. But if I don't do that, I'm not looking at my phone when I'm
yeah,
crossing the road.
yeah,
Especially in Toronto,
yeah,
some people trust because
yeah,
especially at my intersection from my, office to the other side, because 'cause I'm at Wellington and Bay,
yeah,
um, so when I'm crossing
hmm
over Wellington,
hmm
that intersection, on my side, it's, people just because it's one way, Wellington's one way going, west, so people turning off of Bay to go onto Wellington on my side, like, some of those people don't care, and they'll just turn, especially when people are shouldn't be crossing the road yet,
hmm
they'll just go. I'm not trying to get licked down by a car.
right,
I'm
right,
paying attention.
right, yeah,
You have to pay attention in Toronto,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to pay attention. Like I
especially.
just don't know. I saw somebody do that. I was like, yeah, they're brave. I'm like, yeah, you're
You have to pay attention everywhere, but
yeah,
especially in Toronto, you need to
yeah,
be paying attention to what is happening around you,
hmm
and people just don't. Their phones are just, like, completely attached to them, and it's just, like,
hmm
nothing is that important. There's no one I'm talking to in the morning. I mean, yeah, sure, I might have said hi, good morning to my boyfriend or something, but it's like that's the gist of the conversations, and that usually happens on the train, on the ride in. There's no one I'm talking to. There's nothing that I'm doing that's so important that I need to be looking
hmm
at my phone while on the
hmm
way to work.
Uh,
It is. I just want to
hopefully,
get to work.
I'm hoping that person is doing like some type of important
Probably
issue,
not.
like
9 times I've
side
literally seen
hustle,
I've literally seen people
not
watching, like, Netflix while
okay.
walking or playing games while
Mhm.
walking. I've literally seen that. I don't do that.
It's okay to play a game. It's okay.
No,
Well,
it's not
sometimes
okay
it's
to
okay
play
to
games
play a
while you're
game
walking.
making money, but
No,
like
no, no, that's not no, it's not what people are doing. They're playing, like, I don't know, Candy Crush or something, and
Mhm.
it's like,
there are some games you can make money. Candy Crush, you can
I
make money
still
with Candy
don't
Crush.
think that's an excuse to do it while walking, because the people that I will
Mhm,
run into because I'm moving and I listen, currently dealing with a heel spur, so I'm not moving as fast as I normally can because of it, because 'cause I'm not trying to aggravate it, but I'm still moving faster than most people
mhm,
who are on their phones, not moving quick or not paying attention, none of that.
mm,
Or oh god, I could just rant. Or the people who are on their phones, and as you're going from TTC into the RBC Plaza,
mhm,
um, the doors aren't open or there's, like, one door that's open or partly open or something like that, but most of the doors are not open. So there's
Mm,
two, there's the first door and then there's the second door.
mhm,
People on their phones,
mhm,
if some do pay attention, but 9 times out of 10, someone who's on their phone, who's going through those doors, the courtesy thing is like, let me ask you, Mikel, if you're walking through those doors, even if you're not necessarily looking behind you, because I don't look behind me,
mm.
but would you still hold the door long enough that maybe if there's someone behind you, you're not slamming the door in their face?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. No.
Okay, people do that. People
Yeah.
literally do not hold the door or hold the door long enough, and the door will just slam in your face. And I'm literally right behind them. I
Yeah.
never do that. I
Yeah.
always hold
Usually.
the door just a
Yeah.
little bit longer just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that too. I hold the door.
And but those are people who are on their phones are just
Hmm.
not freaking aware of their
Hmm.
surroundings. Drives me
Hmm.
freaking nuts.
And also it depends if you're a distance, if you're like
Yeah, if
far
you're a
away.
distance away, that's one
Yeah,
thing.
obviously. Yeah.
But if you're like, and again, like I said, I'm not even looking behind me. 9 times out of 10, people are not looking behind them. They just assume there's probably someone behind me because that's just the name of the game with rush
Mhm.
hour. There's probably someone behind me. So you hold the door just a little bit longer just in case someone's behind you and the door doesn't slam in their face. Now, accidents happen because it has happened
Mhm.
where I maybe slammed the door a little faster and I'm like, oh, shoot, sorry. Just last week, someone slammed the door behind them, not realizing I was right behind them. And the person like turned around and said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were there. That's okay. That's
Mhm.
fine because you acknowledged that I was behind you.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be a bit, but the other people who are just choosing to not be like noticing their surroundings
Mhm.
drives me absolutely bonkers. And I have no issues literally saying, because like I don't care. It's one for all, I guess. Just you gotta worry about yourself. I don't know. But it's yeah. And I've seen people even like this is not the phones necessarily, but I've seen people who just don't want to touch the handles, let the door close. So I can give you a pass a little bit on that. But just do what we all do, use hand sanitizer when you get to the office. I always do that. First thing I do before I touch my keyboard is I do a hand sanitizer.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
you could just do
Yeah,
that. But anyways,
yeah, that's true.
that's
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone has their thing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has their thing. Well, I just wanted to mention that because that's the new type of phones that are going around, and I think more people should use those phones.
Mhm.
And
I don't
not
know
talking about the
if
old generation phones, not the old dumb phones, like the ones that
mhm,
you're talking about, like Nokia and
mhm.
the flip phones. I mean, there are the new for
Not like the
the
new
modern
school
versions out
flip
there.
phone, but like the old school
Yeah,
flip
the old
phone.
school, yeah.
Yeah, where you
Yeah,
could play like the snake game. I
yeah, yeah,
loved that game.
yeah,
That game was
yeah,
the best.
yeah,
It's probably wouldn't hold up now as a 34-year-old,
yeah.
but when I was 8, 9, and I would
Hmm.
play with my mom's phone, that was the
Hmm.
best game. Um,
Yeah, I never played that game.
anyway, really?
Yeah, no,
Well,
I don't think it was ever on my phone because I only had
did your
like
mom have a cell phone like in the, I would say, late 90s, early aughts? No?
I don't think she ever had us. We had a
Okay.
home phone,
Well,
and
we all
then
had home phones.
yeah, home phones. But
We all had home phones, but then my mom,
think
like,
we switched. I think we officially ended that in the twenty tens.
we still have home phone.
Oh,
We still
I
have a
agree.
home phone. No, my mom will never not have a home phone. But, my we had a home phone, like, that's was the thing you had in the 90s.
Mhm.
Um, but my mom got her first cell phone back when TELUS used to be called ClearNet. If anyone, remembers
Mm,
that, your back probably hurts now. But yeah, she had her first phone then. I think she had an LG um phone, like I'm picturing in my head right now. My
Mhm,
grandpa had the same version too. And um that was the first phone that we had like around. Like I didn't have my
mhm,
own cell phone yet,
mhm,
but
mhm,
I would borrow hers like if I was going out or anything like that. But she when I was younger, she had like you had like the pre-programmed game on those
mhm,
old school phones, and it was the
mhm,
snake game. And you would
mhm,
basically it was, like, literally like, you can probably Google it and probably find, like, images of it, but it was this very pixelated snake. It didn't really look like a snake, but it was this pixelated thing that would go around, and you had to, like, catch the food, which was n didn't really look like food, but it's just you had to catch, like, the quote, unquote "food" before it would move. So, like, you were the snake and
mhm,
you had to, like, squiggle around and try to get the food. It sounds boring as hell the way I'm explaining it, but I'm
mhm.
telling you, it was addictive. It
Huh,
was addictive.
interesting.
Um, I remember vividly playing that game in a restaurant once because I was bored. So my mom gave me her phone and I played the snake game.
Huh,
So, yeah.
interesting. Okay. Mhm,
Um, so let's just finish the article up. So
mhm,
disruptions consume more than the seconds they steal. Researchers estimate that after an interruption, it can take 23 minutes and 15 seconds to regain full focus. A toll silent phone users are keen to avoid. By controlling notification windows, they group replies into set blocks and shave hours off the week. Life today overflows with micro interactions that feel urgent but rarely are. Muting notifications teaches the brain to sort urgent from merely loud. Um, Once the habit forms, the mind anticipates longer arcs of concentration and projects that use to stall reach completion in shorter calendar time. The cumulative effect mirrors compound interest, with every rescued minute growing into larger stretches of productive time. That payoff is especially visible in creative or analytical work, where even a small break can fracture thought. So,
mhm,
the same crowd often embraces mindfulness, turning the once noisy handset into a pocket couch. A 4-week mobile mindfulness program lifted attention and vitality among Korean office workers, showing that a quiet phone can foster calm rather than craving.
mhm,
Muting alerts removes the constant tug back to the screen, creating space for intentional breathing exercise instead of a reflective swipe. So, like, if anyone were to do like exactly mindfulness or meditation or anything like that, definitely silent your phone when doing so, because I do that. I silent my
mhm,
phone so you don't have that
mhm,
distraction. You give yourself that 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is to
mhm,
just ground yourself without the distraction of your phone going off for whatever reason.
mhm,
Um, Clinicians note that the first step in any attention training protocol is reducing external triggers, and the silent setting accomplishes that task before meditation even begins. Because the phone stays available for emergencies, the user keeps the benefits of mobility while pruning the anxiety inducing soundtrack. Practitioners say the rhythm sticks. Once the brain associates silence with steady breathing, the simple state of being unreachable cues relaxation. Colleagues notice the difference, describing these individuals as present, unhurried, and harder to rattle under pressure. Um, Noise primes the body for action even when the message is trivial.
mhm,
Saying, quote, our research has shown that attention distraction can lead to higher stress, a bad mood, and lower productivity,
mhm,
wrote Gloria Mark, who's a professor of informatics at the University of California in Irving. Keeping the ringtone off shields the nervous system from that steady stream of alerts, letting heart rate and cortisol stay low for longer stretches, which is so important. Physiologically, even ping Every ping can produce a brief spike in sympathetic nervous activity, a
Mhm.
response designed for survival, but unhelpful when the alert
Mhm.
is a discount code. Subtracting hundreds of such spikes every day eases the background hum of tension that many workers accept as normal. Many report better sleep as well because no beep tempts them to check one last ping at midnight. Here's a suggestion for people who don't do that. Do not disturb is your best friend at a certain point of the night. 9 times out of 10, I put do not disturb from about 11 o'clock, or at the very least midnight. Um, so I'm not getting dings like that. Only certain people can break through that, but 9 times out of 10, like, since I've had my new phone, even less people can ding through that because I actually have what they call a sleep mode. I don't know if everyone has that, but, like, a sleep mode on the newer versions of the Android, um, and I use it. I use it. I also have relax mode where it's, like, before and after, the sleep mode where I'm still not being bugged and all that. So it's it's really important to make sure that if you're going to use your phone at night, which that's not a good idea either, but we're all guilty of it, at least like control who can send you a notification or what's sending you a notification when you should be resting for sleep.
Mm.
Um So, a single ringtone can shatter the fragile cadence of heartfelt talk. Silent phone people stay fully engaged, catching pauses and tone shifts that others may not. The results in conversation that feels stitched um, together instead of patchworked between gallant glances and a glowing slab. That depth pays dividends in trust, an asset that cannot be captured by screen time metrics but shows up in stronger social support. Observers often describe silent prone people as good listeners, a reputation that circles back to benefit them in leadership and collaboration settings.
Mhm.
Deeper bonds form because presence, like any gift, gathers value through its rarity.
Mm.
Um, so I think I'll end the article there, but I did want to mention an app that I use that's very similar to the app that they were talking about in this, but it also has like a fun element to it. It's called Finch.
Mhm.
Um, I heard about it through the Morbid podcast, so I decided to try it out. I don't feel like I've talked about it before, but I can't remember. But I it's very similar for, like, my 90s babies who had Tamagotchis. It's very similar to that idea where you are have this it's a finch, it's a bird that
Mm.
you can name, you can customize in whatever way you want to, and they go on little adventures. You can go different destinations, they do these little adventures, learn something new. But the best part about the app, it's a self-care app. So you can create these little things that you're going to do throughout the day that you check off, and it can either have your finch do the adventure faster or gives them energy so they can start their adventure. Whatever it is, you can do something as simple as get out of bed or um, shower, stuff like that. Or you can customize it for like, I want to exercise, which obviously can help with mental health as well. And then there is another little thing where it has silent notifications for productivity or set a focus timer so that you're focusing on something and not being distracted by other things. And I use those things, and it's been pretty helpful. Can also hold you accountable for different things that maybe you have going on in life. I highly recommend the app for people who yeah, so just in case, like, people don't know about the app or whatever, um, I highly recommend it. I personally enjoy it because I was a Tamagotchi girl,
Mhm.
um, back in the day, um, and, they go on little adventures and it's so cute and you can change their outfits and their homes. It's yeah. And you get these micro pets. They're so
Mhm.
cute.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's fun. It's a fun app.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of my PSA on that one. But
Hmm.
uh
So I have a fun fact.
okay.
So let me ask you this: which country has the most 100-year-old people in their population?
I'm gonna
Can
say
you
Finland because they're happy. I don't
the United States?
really.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they have 101,000 people as estimated in 2024. So like, yeah.
huh.
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
if I
That's,
think about like, I mean, I obviously
yeah.
don't know like a random person, but if you
Yeah.
think of like, you
Hmm.
know, I don't know, Dick Van Dyke,
Yeah,
he just
yeah, yeah.
recently turned 100, or Betty
Yeah.
White, she was almost 100. So it's
Hmm.
like clearly doing something right over there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we always think that the United States is it's the
It's an
least
unhealthy
healthy
country.
healthy country, but
Right.
check it out. I
But
guess we
again, I
just
do wonder
yeah.
too, though, the
Hmm.
people who are a century old,
Hmm.
or potentially even maybe more,
Hmm.
I think maybe the way they would have eaten, for example,
Hmm.
in their earlier days is probably so drastically different than the way that maybe it is now or has been the last 20 or so years.
Right,
So
right.
I feel like, yes, it is factual that America is probably one of the more unhealthier countries
Hmm.
just because when it comes to their fast food options
Hmm. Hmm.
versus here in like Canada or other countries.
Hmm.
Um, but I do think that's something that has really gotten worse in the last like 25, 30 years. I don't think that was always a reality.
Hmm.
So I would like to say, I mean, I may not say, but I would like to see like how that number changes in the next like
Well,
20,
they're
30, 40
yeah,
years.
yeah. They're expecting 422,000 people by 2054. So
I
in
think
America.
I think that's a
That's
little optimistic on my honest opinion.
I
I
mean
really do.
the population is bigger than it was like, in
They do have a higher
you know,
population than
you
like
yeah,
Canada, for example.
yeah, yeah.
But
Could be.
I still think that's optimistic.
Hmm.
I really do think that's optimistic. Just because like not even
Hmm.
just like the food, but when you see like certain people, I won't say necessarily the type of people, but there are people too who maybe not necessarily take oral hygiene very, important.
Right.
Um, or also people who are not always able to go to a doctor for one reason or another. Um, I do, and that's sometimes out of their control
Hmm.
because we are very fortunate here in Canada that we always have access to healthcare,
Right.
generally speaking. So I do wonder like is that's maybe a little bit
Yeah.
it's a little out there at that number, but hey, we'll see.
I guess who the second country is
Europe.
behind. No, it's Japan.
I can believe it.
Yeah, 95,000.
I said Europe like an idiot. That's a continent. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
95,000 people for 100 year old.
I can believe
They're
it.
also
Because
healthy
again,
as
like I
well.
can believe that of any Asian country because
Yeah.
it's like they are all about wellness, eating
Hmm.
healthy, clean eating.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I can definitely believe that. That doesn't
Hmm.
surprise me at all.
Yeah,
If it
and
wasn't
so
Japan, it
yeah,
was another Asian country,
yeah,
and yeah,
yeah. I guess where Canada is at.
I think we're pretty low on the totem pole.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So we're at, I'm going to say, so they did a count in 2024, or they estimated 2024. There were 11,672 people who were 100 years old or older.
Huh, I wonder why that is. But honestly, like.
Because we're a smaller country is one.
We are a smaller country.
Yeah.
Um, Even though we do have a lot of land mass,
Hmm.
not all of that land is occupied with humans. Um, but I I don't know if I want to live to 100, to be totally honest with
Hmm.
you. I really don't. I don't think I want to.
I, I like to.
It's 100 years is a long time to be on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think honestly, by the time I hit like 90, I'm over it. I'm over it. Let's go do something different now.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
they're also expecting it to triple in 2050 as well.
okay.
So like, yeah,
So maybe I
so
will be one of the statistics, who knows? But I mean,
yeah.
statistically in my family, um, we don't live till 100, but like my great grandma was 94 when she
Oh
passed,
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but that's on like the one side of the
Hmm.
family. I had my aunt who recently passed away. Um,
Hmm.
she was 80. Was she 89? Did she make it 89? She
Right.
had just had a birthday a couple weeks before she passed. So
Hmm.
I think she did turn 89. Um, who was the daughter of my great grandma who lived to 94. Um,
So
but then on the hmm?
I sorry, my bad. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
no.
I'll let you talk.
No, I'm just saying on my dad's side of the family, it's a little not
Mm-hmm.
as not as long. So, and I favor that side more so than my mom's side. So,
Mm-hmm.
who knows?
So I had a grandma on my uncle side, right? Like my uncle, but we always call her like grandma and all that stuff. So like
So,
basically,
like, is she like, but is she like your mom's side or your dad's side?
more so my dad
Well, it has to be
side,
one or the other.
but dad, but because my yeah, because we call oh yeah my dad. We'll go on say my dad's side, right?
Okay.
So yeah, my grandma lived. So she was one of those 100-year-old
Oh,
ladies.
yeah.
So yeah, so
So is
she was
she like, she's like
100.
legit your grandma?
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
yeah, I would
Okay.
say that yeah, because she was on my dad's side. I would say,
Okay.
and my uncle was yeah, basically her
Hmm.
mother.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, basically yeah, she lived to 100 and then she died, and then like I think a couple months later. So like
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you know,
mhm,
I guess it's definitely a feat to live to 100.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, yeah, good for people who can do it, who do
mhm,
it and
mhm,
do it
mhm,
gracefully. But I'm just like,
mhm.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to live that long.
Yeah.
The world's scary now.
Mhm.
I'm terrified of what it's going to look like in 60 years. I don't know if I necessarily want to
I
be
mean,
around to
a lot has
see that.
changed. A lot has changed. Like healthy food eating. So like you could look 100. You could look well, not look 100, but be
Yeah, there are
100 years
people who
old, but
don't
not
look
look it.
100.
Yeah,
Like,
like, not look it. Yeah, because
yeah.
like because like
Or don't
so
even
many.
act like they're
Yeah,
still able to like again, I know I'm like I've talked about
yeah.
Dick Van Dyke in the last episode. I'm talking about him out here too.
Oh,
But
I saw that. I saw that clip of him. I saw that he was like moving a little. He was
like when he
moving.
did Step in
Yeah,
Time,
yeah. He was
I'm
moving.
telling you, like I think that was like maybe a couple years ago,
Yeah.
but the way that man was moving, I'm like,
Yeah.
I love him so much. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he
Yeah.
brings a smile to my face. Like, the love I have for Dick Van Dyke is
Mhm,
very similar to like my love for Betty White.
mhm,
So that's why I said when the time comes, and it's probably gonna happen soon.
mhm,
I shouldn't
mhm.
put it out there, but
Yeah.
when he passes, I'm going to need a day or two
Mhm.
because again, like I love him so much. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be it's I feel like it will be, like, different in the next, like, 40, 50 years, like, it's not gonna be the same
No, I
100
think
years
we're
ago.
definitely in the right direction.
yeah, right direction in terms of
Um, yeah,
I-
the cleaner eating and
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah. All right. That's all I
All
want to
right.
do. I say that's a
Let's
little something.
do yeah,
Go
let's
ahead.
do the next one. So we have talked about the license plate readers, like
Hmm.
the new AI version of
Hmm.
this, and we've talked about that in another episode. But now we're talking about how that can actually be successful in catching a wanted man.
Hmm.
So, um, the ping of an automated license plate reader signaled to police the vehicle belonged to a wanted man.
Hmm.
The Huntsville, Ontario Provincial Police, which is the OPP or the Huntsville section of the OPP,
Hmm. Hmm.
pulled over this particular car at around 1:45 a.m. So this article was of June 30th. So around that time, inside the vehicle, an officer found a prohibited weapon and various drugs. A man and a woman from Swas. Ooh, that's a. We need to maybe consider changing the name. Um,
Mm.
you might understand why in a hot second. The place is called Swastika.
What's the call?
Do you know what a swastika is?
Is it? I don't want to
It's
say
okay.
it.
We're here now.
Is it anything I have to do with like a? I think I know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
It's is it a logo?
It is
Okay, yeah, I know what it is now.
the not
Okay,
Nazi one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We need to change that name, y'all. Um,
Mhm.
as well as a man from Kirkland Lake have been charged with joint possession of the following: prohibited device, possession of a weapon for dangerous purpose, three
Mhm.
counts of possession of a Scheduled 1 substance.
Mhm.
So all three accused were held for bail hearing at the Ontario Court of Justice in Bracebridge. So that's a very short article, but it's just kind of an example of how this works. So, I mean, in that sense, it's great that, this new device that they have is working. Um, Still hate it, but, it's
I mean,
okay. It is what
I
it
mean,
is.
there's isn't there like other devices? Like there's you ever hear of an air tag? You know
But
what
this
that?
isn't an AirTag type
Mhm.
device. This isn't a
Mhm.
device you can go buy at a store. This is a device that police officers use to read your license plate. And
Mhm.
while doing that, I guess they can see, oh, this car is registered to a wanted person who's probably evaded police and ignored a
Oh, okay.
arrest
Yeah,
warrant
yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Sorry.
So it's
Okay.
not the same idea.
Yeah, I thought you meant a tracker or whatever. Oh,
No.
you meant like laser. They just laser or they
It's
just show.
called, I know I put the full name in there, but it's the acronym is ALPR.
Mhm.
I think it's AI license plate reader or something like around those lines.
Oh, see,
We
see,
talked
that's
about it in
it.
a previous
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. See, now that people are using AI, okay, and
Well, the
that's it. That,
police did say that they were going to start using AI
yeah.
to benefit them, and this is one way they're doing it.
So I want to add towards like this is going to be a little bit off topic, right? I have said this before. Like, do you remember how people were complaining back in the day about the calculator being a cheating tool
Yeah, remember we talked about that.
in school? Yeah, in schools, and now that um, AI,
I
it,
mean, look at it now. Like they
yeah,
think if it's the cheat thing or whatever.
mhm,
You also, first of all, allow phones in school now
yeah.
because that was not a thing in our when we were in school.
Oh yeah,
You were
yeah,
not
yeah,
allowed
yeah.
to use your phone in school, but now it's like you just have to
Mhm,
type the answer into freaking Google and you get an AI
mhm, mhm,
response.
mhm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
that's
become
something.
so much easier for people.
Do you think it
We're
will?
going to be so stupid.
Oh, that's what I was gonna go
The
at.
human race is going to be so stupid.
Yeah,
We're
yeah, because
already stupid. Like right now,
well,
I'm
I feel
currently,
like, yeah, I feel like it would be worse for like people who are stupid,
we're
who are already
already
stupid.
stupid.
I
And we're
mean,
going
no,
to get
there's
stupider. Yes, I said
I
stupider.
there's some smart people out there,
Oh,
who
of
think for
course.
themselves.
Of
But like,
course.
I mean,
But why do it though when it's all there for you? You don't have to do it. You can be lazy
yeah.
and have things do it for you and still
Mhm,
get good marks.
mhm,
You
mhm,
literally do not need to try.
mhm,
And I'm sorry, kids are dumb. And I can say this because we were kids. We were dumb.
mhm,
I can tell you this right now, if I had the tools that kids these days have, I would be dumb. So I would have used them because we're just that dumb.
mhm,
It's so that's just so bad. We're gonna be so stupid because and the thing is like right now I'm watching and then we'll talk
mhm,
about it more in the Netflix episode, but I'm
mhm,
watching the train wreck again, another train wreck, storming Area 51.
mhm, mhm.
I mean, the whole thing was stupid. I remember but when all this was going on, the whole thing was dumb. But when they break it down and you're actually seeing these bits and pieces of things,
Mhm.
people the human race sucks ass and we're stupid. That's my
Mm,
takeaway. I haven't even finished the talk yet because this one's a two-parter, but it's we're dumb. We are so dumb. We are so
mhm.
dumb. And we're gonna get worse.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I just don't know how you put like when it comes to like schools, like they're trying to look into like how do we just reduce it? How do we just make it
You
into
can't.
a tool instead
You
of
let the
making it
cat
a
out of the bag.
yeah.
You can't then stuff the cat back into the bag. They never should have allowed phones to be accessible during school hours.
And that's probably what they
And now
can't
you got
do.
to deal with it.
See the thing is like even they try to do it again, like they try to ban phones.
Mhm.
How can you ban phones? How
Well,
can
they always did that
yeah, but
before
like
they
how
brought it in the first
but
place.
how can you ban phones either way? They're just gonna look at their phones either way if you even if you ban it.
Well, here's the
And a lot of
difference. If they were to ban them, though, the
mhm,
difference now, versus like when we were in school, if they caught us with our phones, they
mhm,
might give us a warning and say put the phone away. Um, but nine times out of ten, like especially if you just weren't listening, they would take your phone away,
mhm.
and you would either get it at the end of the day or you get it at the end of the period or whatever. They could start doing that. Problem is, though,
I mean
I
students will
feel like
still
you're going to deal because again, we're talking about children who were who are raised
mhm,
maybe by late Gen Xers and early millennials,
mhm,
maybe even younger millennials at this point too.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
Those are people, and I can say this as a millennial. These are people who are literally going to say, "Give my child their phone back. You don't pay for it. I do. Give them the phone."
mhm,
Now, would I do that? No. If if um If I find it becoming an issue, though, that my child is not getting their phone back or whatever case may be, then I'll deal with that with the school, though. But I'm actually I'm a firm believer of schools not allowing phones in the classroom because I'm like, we survived without them.
yes,
So
yes,
why do you feel the need to have them? Why
but
can't
we're
you do a goddamn curriculum without people's phones
yeah.
being out?
I I agree, but this is a different generation,
It is a
Tanyka.
different generation, and I
The
understand
thing
that.
is, like, you gotta
But
they
we
would need their
also we also
they would
parent by example though.
yeah, they would
That's the
need their
thing.
these kids won't need their phones either way because, like, they gotta phone their parents during lunchtime just to see if they're okay, and probably
But that's
after school as
stupid.
well.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I had a phone. I don't think I carried my phone in elementary school though,
Mhm,
but I
mhm.
had a phone in towards the end of grade 8, and then into high school years.
It
My mom didn't call my phone during school hours to make sure I was okay. She never did that. She might I mean, now I was close to school that I
mhm,
could have
mhm,
gone home sometimes and eat at home,
mhm.
but 9 times out of 10, though, I stayed on the grounds. Um, my mom didn't call me during lunch to make sure I was okay. My
I
mom
mean,
didn't call me to make sure I was okay. End of the day, yeah, my mom would call me when I was home, but
there's
on the house phone, my mom
well,
didn't do any of that. Why do we need to do that?
well, there's different types of students. And another thing is,
No, but I get that. But what I'm trying to say is we did this. We
mhm,
survived not being able to have access to our phones all the time.
different generation.
I don't
Different
care
generation.
though, Mikel. I hear you saying that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't care though. I
yeah.
blame the schools for the reason why phones are allowed. That has nothing to do with generations.
Hmm.
That's the school saying, oh, well, they have computers in their hands now, so they can use that during school time because we don't have enough resources to add computers to our classrooms anymore. That's all I think about. Computers, remember back in the day, we would have computers in classrooms or the library or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have that anymore.
I
So
remember
they have substituted that with cell phones.
I remember at one point they didn't have any like Wi-Fi in the school
Oh
area.
no. No, no, no,
No
no, no, no.
Wi-Fi. There
No, no,
was
no,
no
no. There's no
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi.
for the phones to connect. So your phone might have
But
problems connected to a modem.
Wi-Fi wasn't really a thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
really kind of popped up more so. It was more readily used.
Yeah.
I think once we were both out of high school,
Yeah.
that wasn't really a thing.
So I wonder if it's still privacy locked in some schools. Like,
I
some
don't know.
schools have
Maybe.
privacy locked because like,
But no, honestly, I don't think so. Because if you want to live out, that's the other thing.
mhm,
If if I find out though that my child is using a cell phone and they don't have access to the Wi-Fi,
mhm,
so they're using their data, and some plans are different. Sometimes people have limits to their data,
yeah.
or they
Some datas
right, they
don't.
only have limits to the data and all of that, or
Yeah.
you get capped or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But even if you get capped, it's as simple as turning it back on, and then you're running up the bill. We can all do that easily enough. A kid can figure that out.
I mean,
So
some phones when they get capped out, the data gets slower, and then the kid gets annoyed by the data. So like
no, that
basically,
doesn't. I don't think that happens anymore.
it happens. Happens.
Even 10 years ago, when that would happen to me all the time,
Shit, it
it
happens to
never
you.
ran that slow.
It happens on my phone at times.
That might be your phone.
Freedom
That
Mobile.
does
I'm with
not
Freedom,
happen.
so like I think
That
if
doesn't happen.
a lot of people who are with Freedom are gonna feel that effect.
That's a you problem. That's not typical because I've never had that happen.
You think of Bell and Rogers when you have
I'm with TELUS and that never happens.
oh, so
Even 10
you
years
doesn't
ago, that never
so
happened.
it never went slow after when you
No,
capped it.
no, because what happens is when you cap it, um, and you create a limit to the data, it turns off your data, but then you can turn it back on and it runs as it does. That doesn't happen. I've never had that happen.
Interesting.
Even like I said, even 10 years ago, where I mainly had capped my data back
Mhm,
then,
mhm,
it never ran slow. And that's like I had an S4. It was a
mm,
different time, things have evolved so much in 10 years. And then I still never had that happen. So no, I think that's more your carrier
mhm. Okay.
than the phone itself.
I mean, I think that's a good thing if people have Freedom Mobile and it's just cap it off and like model goes slow for the students. But there is a
I don't
student
I think
plan
that's
though.
stupid.
There's a student plan though for a lot of these phones though. I wonder if a lot of these phones have student plans and just they do
They most likely cap, but then you're
cap and
paying
then it's
but then you're
slow.
paying overages potentially. If your child is dumb and turns the cap off, then you're dealing
Mm,
with overages because
mm,
you might have a student plan, but you don't necessarily have um, parental controls to not turn back on the
right.
data. So
Okay.
I don't think that's necessarily something you can do. You have control
Mm,
over with the parental controls with that type of situation. So I don't think that would work. So for me, like I would be upset if I am a parent that was like,
mhm,
whatever, do what you're doing.
mhm,
I want my child to be able to connect to a Wi-Fi. I'm always
mm,
like for me, especially, I'm always connected to Wi-Fi from home, office. I'm
mm,
9 times out of 10 always connected to Wi-Fi, which is probably why I don't go over my limits anymore with data. And if I'm doing that, I expect my child to be doing that as well. So it's that would piss me off. as a
Mm,
parent, because then I have to pay the overages while you're allowing my child to use a phone. I don't know, man. I'm I'm different. Like that's the thing. Like I know I'm gonna parent different. I'm not going to parent like the typical millennial. I'm
mhm,
gonna parent. I mean, I probably wouldn't be as harsh, but I'm
mm,
gonna parent like my mom parented me. I'm 34 years old. My boyfriend is 36.
mm.
Like, I'm just not gonna parent in the same way. I just realized your birthday's coming soon. Holy sh that
Yeah,
just hit
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
wait a minute.
yeah,
We're in August.
yeah, yeah.
His birthday would
Yeah.
have happened by the time this episode comes out. But
Mhm, mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
that
Yeah,
just hit me. I'm like, holy sh
yeah, yeah. But
some
yeah.
of us are turning 37.
Mhm. Yeah, I am.
But so is my boyfriend, though. He's turning 37 this year, too. So it's just like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to, I know my boyfriend's going to be pretty particular
Mhm.
about how his kids are being raised. And I'm also going to be pretty particular about how my kids are raised. And
Right.
um, I don't know how I feel about my child using a phone during school. I don't think it's necessary. Now, I know a lot of changes have been made within the school system where I think they are trying to, ooh, you made a mistake. And I think they're trying to draw back a bit.
Mhm.
But I honestly think you've really screwed the pooch on that. Honestly,
Hmm.
honestly. But again, like different times, I know,
I
and
I just know how you. I don't know how you. I don't know. In my opinion, either they ban them or try to ban them. Either way, the students gonna have a workaround and
well, they
workaround to
always
try
do.
to keep
And
them.
again, we always
Mhm.
did. We always had a workaround. But I think
And
the difference is, though,
yeah,
is I think teachers have to be able to enforce that, though. And currently, they're just not in a space where they can because they've allowed them.
I say not like in school. Like during lunch hours, they're allowed to have their phones. Go
Oh,
ahead,
but that
lunch
was
hour.
always the case with us, too. We were
But
always allowed to have our
in
phones.
classrooms,
In classrooms is what I'm talking about.
okay,
While in
yeah,
a period or in the class or whatever,
yeah.
they never controlled it on recess or anything like that, or
Mhm,
when you
mhm.
were between periods or at lunchtime or anything like
Yeah,
that.
so okay,
They
that's what
wouldn't
I'm talking
enforce
about.
it.
That's
I
what I'm
no
talking.
no 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 no. They wouldn't tell you you couldn't use it. Now,
Mhm.
I personally, and I know like even my friend who has been on my other podcast. She didn't get a phone for her daughter. And she's like, I didn't even want to get her phone then, but she didn't get a phone for her daughter until maybe a couple years ago.
How old's the daughter? 10?
She at the time she would have been 10, 11. She's older now,
That's
but
that's that's the age I would give my kid.
that's too soon for me. That's too soon.
Nah,
And
that's
even for her, like I just said, it was too soon for her too.
either
She did not want to
I'm
buy the phone for her kid at that age. The
I'm
only
more
reason she did is because
uh
she wanted to ensure she had access to her daughter when she was at her father, when things weren't
dude,
in
I'm
the
gonna be
best
more
of terms
I'm
between parents.
it's either I get an air tag for my child during school hours because I need to know where and how,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
if he's okay,
yeah,
etc.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
he
I
gets a
would more do
phone
that with
or
their
he gets a
younger.
phone
Yeah,
at 10 or 11. So
yeah.
like
No, but again, like I feel like an air tag would be more reliable for a
mhm,
child.
mhm.
Um, it has all the same features. You don't have to have a phone for your child when they're too young. I think high school is a perfect time, or around the time of high school is a perfect time to have you have your child have a phone. And you can say it's a different generation and all of that.
Yeah,
That's when I got a phone. That's when my friend got, I'll just say her name, I'll bleep it out. That's
dude,
when got her phone. And that's the age she wanted to have her child have a phone too. It was just circumstances were a little bit different, so she got her the phone. But the phone was very limited initially. She couldn't do everything on the phone.
oh yeah,
It was a
and
very
that's the type of
limited,
phone you give to your that's the type of
and
phone you
she
give
would
to your
take the
child.
phone from her at night, so she
Oh yeah,
wouldn't have access to it. So
yeah,
if
that's
you're going to do that, you
mhm,
need to limit their usage. I
yeah.
don't think all parents do that though.
See, and
That's
that
what I mean by we
depends,
parent by example.
and depends how you use it. Like if my child is like, you can limit your child for like, a certain time frame from like, let's see, if 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 my child like from after school, you get like 2 more hours with it after school, and that's it. If you're doing something like, some project or some series on the phone, I will give you that time. But if you're not doing anything else but just doom scrolling and Twitter, social media, give it to me.
Hmm.
Like
And
so
honestly, even me, it's like I think I'm even taking your phone when you walk in the door, and here's why. Again, this is again for me, I think parenting by what I grew up with. As soon as I walked through the door in elementary school in particular, my grandmother would sit me down, you do your homework, finish your homework before you do anything else. And that's what I always did. I always sat down, did my homework, and then I had the rest of the time to do whatever the hell I wanted. And same thing, every time she went to my house, same thing. She had to sit down, she had to do her homework. So that's the way I think of it. High school is a little different.
mhm,
Because I always have expectations to do things in the house and stuff like that. So it would kind of be like do homework, but also make sure you're doing other things as well.
mhm,
So then you can kind of focus on homework a little later. And obviously college was very different, but elementary school, it was as soon as you enter the house, 3:30 p.m.,
mhm.
you might go, you might have a snack, you might wash your hands, whatever. Then it's homework.
Right.
And you do that until dinner time. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's that's yeah, that's kind of maybe my grandma would let me watch like Rugrats or something because I love the Rugrats. So my grandma,
Oh yeah, I'm okay with
I
with
will
them
let
watching
you
T.
sit down
I'm
here and
okay.
do your
Well,
homework.
then again, we're not in the same era, like in terms of television anymore. So like,
Right, right, right. But I'm just trying
right,
to say
we're
this example,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
that was what I did.
yeah.
And I think I would have that expectation on my kids where it's like, you know,
See, I had to
you
think
know,
different. I had to think differently now because we're not. The thing is,
I
with
don't
me,
think you need to think differently though when it comes
no,
to a child's education because it's the most important thing.
the education, but like I had to, because we're like I said, we're not in this. It's
It's not about
like everything's
generation.
different.
I disagree with you on that one. It's not about a
It's different, like,
generation.
because your child's gonna get influenced no matter what, right? Kids.
I don't care
He's
about
gonna look at
that.
he's gonna look at other kids. He
Not
or
when they're
she
home
is
with
gonna look at
me.
other kids, and they they have electronics.
Not
They
when
have
they're home
this.
with me. They're home with me. They're
Yeah.
not around other people, around other kids. I don't care what, again,
Mhm.
I think I know we've had these kind of conversations
Yeah,
before,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I think like you are a little bit more lenient than maybe the way you were raised for one reason or another. Because I know your mother. I know your mother
Yeah,
was probably tough on you as a kid.
yeah, 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 it was tough. Yeah. I
But
just
that's
think
also a Jamaican household. Jamaican
yes.
households are very tough on their kids and they have huge
Yes.
expectations of them.
Yes.
So I I don't know like how you viewed those things, but I saw nothing
I
wrong with the expectation of me doing my homework first and foremost.
Oh no,
Because
no,
then I
no,
had
no,
the rest
no.
of the
I
day to do whatever I wanted to do until
see,
bedtime.
I agree with that. The problem is just I had to do certain little changes. So like the old guard, old things are doing things. Like I'm not gonna go back to do like old fashioned parenting. Like
But
that
what does that
doesn't
mean?
work.
Old-fashioned parenting.
Like complete old fashioned,
But what does
complete
that
old
mean? I need
fashioned.
to know what that means.
So like 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 the hidden,
But I'm not
like
talking about those things.
and then like being
But I'm not talking
stubborn,
about those things.
being
I'm not
being more.
talking about
Okay.
disciplining your child in that way because I don't agree
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Um,
and being stubborn to towards your child, like not letting,
but that's
him
also not
do
everyone's
certain things.
experience. And again,
Mhm,
like
mhm,
that's what I'm trying to, I think the way you were raised is very
mhm.
different than how I was.
And
I didn't have, I mean, my grandma was a little bit stubborn
yeah,
towards me, but
yeah,
we maybe butted heads because we were both Taurus, so that's fine.
And
But that's not even, it wasn't even that bad, honest to God.
so
Um, but my mother
so
wasn't like that
okay.
with me. My dad wasn't like that with me. So
Uh-huh.
that's what I mean of, I think your experiences with your mom, also
Hmm.
just knowing the type of person she is,
Yeah.
it's very different than what I grew up with.
True, true. I just feel like I will be a little bit eased off a little bit because I want to give my child a little bit free. I don't want to, put them
And
in a
that's very different though than what I'm talking about.
because we're in a different world. I understand we're in a different world right now. I just want to give him a little bit of freedom, not the complete freedom. Like there are other
Yeah.
parents that don't give their child not a lot of freedom
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I hear you on
for them.
that.
Like we're in a complete different world. So I think a lot of things like I know a lot about like technology. I know a lot about like social issues. I know I'm more educated on those stuff. Like I know those stuff. My parents and probably other parents, like the older generation parents probably don't know about like uh that stuff. So like
Not
it's
all of
it's
them.
yeah
I'd also disagree with that. Not all of them are like
yeah.
that. And even if they didn't know, because
Okay.
again, I think you say that, but I think you need to remember that a lot of social issues were happening at the time of our parents' generation. So I don't fully agree with that.
You know.
Um,
Mm,
but it depends on the person. That depends on a person,
mhm,
is whether the person is receptive to
mhm.
those social changes or issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are two very different things, but I would disagree with that because even though we have a lot of social things, issues, and things being addressed today, the really pivotal ones, in my honest opinion, a lot of them, like a lot of the things that we've talked about on this podcast,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
have started in our parents' generation. And some of them ended in our parents' generation. So I disagree with that. Um, but also again, knowing your mom, again, I met your dad that one time.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
knowing your
Come on.
mom,
Yeah.
um, I could totally understand that she's not necessarily receptive to things
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
but she's gotten better. She's gotten better over the years. Like she's gotten
Mhm,
better. But she's around more people. She's more like educated about certain things. But
mhm.
like
Sometimes it takes
earlier, yeah,
exposure.
her early years, yeah. But like she's gotten better. She's learning. She's listening. All
Mhm,
that stuff. Like yeah. But like uh but like I said, like there's some parents, other parents who are in the same situation. Like, like they just don't listen. They don't have that type of they have that complete old fashioned way and then they just don't never change it. I know a certain parent who's like that, right? They
mhm,
just don't listen to their kid until their kid have like some, mental health issues. And, like
mhm,
I don't want to be that type of parent towards my kid. I want to give him um not like a full set of freedom, because if you give them a full set of freedom, then like what's the word what's the word I want to say? You give them freedom, a lot of freedom, they don't have any uh
Make self-discipline.
yeah, they don't have any discipline for themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So you just have to like, you have to
Yeah.
have a minimum of freedom for them.
And I understand that. I think again, I have to sometimes remind myself
Yeah.
that
When
your
yeah.
mother, my mother,
Mhm.
very different in age.
Yeah.
Um, my mom was 19 when she had me.
Yeah.
My dad was 21. So it's like I grew up alongside them
Mhm.
in a sense of um I deal with pretty different set of parents
Mhm.
than maybe most my I guess the parenting I experienced
Mhm.
with younger parents,
Mhm.
younger grandparents,
Mhm.
um, was probably just very different
Mhm.
than maybe what you experienced or maybe even other
Mhm.
people my
Mhm.
age.
Mhm.
Um, like even if I think like, my ex,
Mhm.
his parents, I mean his dad was younger. His dad was maybe only a few years older than my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but his mom is in her 60s. Um, he's like the one of the babies. So I can maybe I don't know what kind of mother she was. I
Huh.
could see it in a world because he's told me things along the way that could have been very similar to your upbringing. Um, Especially when you're dealing with someone who's highly religious as well, which I do see that with your mom as well. So I think that's also the difference. I think it's just a mixture of things for me that my upbringing was maybe a little more lax in a way, especially when I was younger. Um, when it comes to the people who contributed to my raising. So yeah, I think that's maybe why I
Mhm,
think very differently about the way
mhm,
I was raised and the expectations I had because I'm
mhm.
like, I saw nothing wrong with those things. And
Oh, there's no.
I would continue that in
Yeah.
my raising my kids.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's
There's,
just, you know,
there's, no, there's nothing wrong. I feel like I feel like we're in different times right now. So like
yeah,
that's why I would
yeah.
change
Yeah, no, and that's okay because
slightly.
again, like we were in different times, but we are also got it. Yes, we're in different times, but
Yeah.
we're also there's a huge difference between the parents that raised us.
Mhm.
Your mother was older than my
Mhm.
mom was.
Mhm.
My mom was 19
Mhm.
raising a child.
Mhm.
So she's a child herself.
Mhm.
So she raised me very differently
Mhm.
versus your mom. Like she was in her 30s,
Mhm.
established to
Yeah.
some extent, and
Yeah. Yeah.
raising two kids like that
Mhm.
was very different than
Right.
my raising.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, like it was a little different for
Mhm.
me. And maybe
Okay.
that's why I'm like, I don't see anything that needed to be changed because, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
my mom was good raising me. So was my dad. So
Yeah, no, no, I'm
yeah.
not saying your mom wasn't good. I'm
No,
just
no, no,
saying
no.
like
I know you're not saying that, but I'm just
yeah,
saying
I'm
that
just saying you're just different.
it's, I don't classify my mother as an old school parent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay,
what I'm getting at.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I
grandparents, maybe,
yeah.
especially when
Oh
you're talking
yeah,
about like
yeah,
disciplining and
yeah.
everything.
Cause
My grandparents for
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
but
Cause
my
like
mom, no.
I feel I feel like that old school like just like your grandparents like that old school type of stuff. I don't think that would. Do you
That
think that
doesn't
would
fly
work?
today.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
it's corporal punishment. It doesn't
Yeah,
my when I say like my
yeah.
grandparents disciplined my mom, my
Mhm,
uncle, I
mhm.
mean, obviously I'm not saying naming names or anything, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is what it is, but I mean like my grandpa would get in fights, physical
Mhm,
fights with my uncle.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, see, and that's
That was just unacceptable, and
that,
that would never be okay
that would
today.
your mental health for your child will be through
And
the roof.
let me tell you,
And that's
my mom deals with panic attacks and anxiety. She's dealt with
mhm,
bouts of depression.
mhm.
My uncle
Yeah,
is
yeah.
clinically depressed.
Mhm,
So think twice before you decide to do like it's just one thing to pat your child on the butt or,
mhm.
slap their hand away from something.
Right.
Those are different things
Mhm.
than legitimately beating the out of your kids.
Yeah,
And that was the experience that my mom had and my uncle. That's the experience
yeah,
my dad had.
yeah.
Like my dad did not have a good relationship with my grandpa. It got better when my
Mhm,
dad, not even when he was first diagnosed with MS, but over time it got better, their relationship.
mhm.
But they had a very toxic relationship because of the way my grandfather handled his kids. May he rest in
Yeah,
peace, but like
yeah.
it was a nightmare. My mom had talked about seeing, witnessing things as well. So it's with his like with my dad's dad, but um
I
it was different times.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
this
it's
is
also
would
different time.
never fly today.
Yeah.
You're getting arrested.
Ye yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. Do you feel
and you
like
should.
yeah.
Yeah.
do you feel like listening, and I know a lot of parents have sh struggles doing this, listening to their children's closely is
It
I feel like
depends on the
it's yeah.
circumstances, because if your child is, like, just being a shithead,
Yeah, yeah, no, I see
that's
that,
one
but
thing. But
it's
if your
not that.
child is really, like, clearly something is
Mhm.
causing them to act out and there's something going on,
Yeah,
then yes, you need to sit down and have a conversation. Or if you are incapable of doing that, then you need to have professional help. And
right,
I've seen that
right,
with
right.
my friends. And um, again, like I mentioned, her daughter's in therapy um, because of things that have happened. And
Mhm, mhm,
when she told me what happened, I'm like, you need to get her help. There's something going on. Like, that is completely not like her.
right.
Something is going on. And she did. And she did. I had another friend as well, same thing. She had,
Mhm,
like, when she had her second child, because again, like, her first child
mhm,
had been an only child for, the first 6, 7 years of her life. So when there was another baby in the house,
right.
she struggled, her daughter, and she had to get her help. Like,
Mhm,
so it's kind of not only verbally listening to your child, but
mhm,
also, quote unquote, "listening" to their actions
mhm.
and kind
Okay,
of being like, "Something's
yeah,
not right here,"
I hear you, yeah,
and doing what you need to do.
100%, yeah. Yeah, that's all I have. Like like I said, I'm probably gonna take a tidbits of my mom's parenting and tidbits
Mm,
of like, you know, learning newer things as well. So like,
mhm,
I'm just like in like 50-50, and then, like, I just want to be full, like, that person that's like an old man that doesn't like learn new tricks, every single time. Cause I gotta learn new tricks every single time because my child is growing at a every-year pace,
mhm.
right? So like I have to learn new tricks every single time. So like, I can't just say like, oh no, this it worked this way because I'm not growing and my child's not growing if it's on my, so that's how I look at things. Like I gotta, at the
And
same time
again,
I feel like I change at times. So
I also wanna stress too,
mhm,
parenting goes, between the 2 people who are
mhm,
parenting the child,
mhm, mhm,
or else sometimes it's just the one person. But obviously,
mhm.
I'm gonna assume, and hopefully our cases, it'd be two-parent household,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
um, that's something you both have to agree
Yeah.
on how you wanna parent your
Oh,
child,
oh no, yeah, 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 yeah.
and
Yeah, I
definitely,
definitely
but
agree.
also, like, when you like, clearly, like, I'm in a position where I'm clearly to have these conversations, I'm
Mhm.
comfortable with the person I'm having a child with or will potentially have a child with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In anyone else's case who maybe aren't in a relationship yet, who are still figuring that part out,
Mhm.
it's definitely ask those really important questions
Yeah.
on, I don't just ask, like, do you want to have kids? Or like, how do you want to parent your kids?
Mhm. Mhm.
What kind of, religion do you want your kids? Because I will never understand people, like I think about people in 90 Day Fiance territory who
Yeah.
will get involved with someone of a different religion and then not ask those questions. What do you want your child to believe in? What
That's the thing.
because
Yeah.
especially with if you're dating or married to someone who's Muslim,
Mhm.
chances are that person wants their child to be Muslim. Does that
Mhm.
align with what you want? You gotta ask those questions before
Yeah.
you get
I, I,
pregnant. You know what I
that's
mean?
why I think a lot of people just be unhappy in a relationship with the person that they feel, and that's like eh, why be unhappy for
Some people
mm,
don't ask the questions and then they get pregnant.
yeah, yeah,
So then it's
and
like, now what?
then it
Ask
leads
those
to
questions.
yeah, yeah, you gotta ask it, yeah, you gotta ask yourself that question. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Ask yourself those questions, and then
Ask
ask your
that
partners.
person that
Yeah,
question, those
yeah,
questions. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. That's important.
a lot of people just don't do that. They just do
Mm.
and just think that what's going to happen. You know, it
It's
will
gonna all
happen.
work itself out.
It's gonna,
And
yeah.
it
So
doesn't always work itself out. You
no,
need to
no.
you need to know what you're dealing with.
Hmm. Hmm. And a lot of relationships are like that. So.
And also look at like cultures. Like again, like my boyfriend is African. I
Hmm.
ask those questions of
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
do you expect to be in what is considered a more traditional African, you know,
Hmm.
relationship, or the
Hmm.
patriarchy is very important?
Hmm. Hmm.
I had to ask those questions because um the patriarchy, that's kind of
Hmm.
where I sit. Um, I think you don't need to have a man to lead a family.
Hmm.
I'm not the neck, you're not the head. We both do this
Yeah,
together.
we talked
Yeah,
about
so
this. Yeah.
that's important to me.
Hmm.
And that's a question I asked him because if we didn't align, well, I don't think this is gonna work.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta ask those
Yeah.
questions. Do your research on who you're with, their
Hmm.
background, and do your
Hmm.
research and
Hmm.
figure out any questions you need to ask from that.
I agree. Yeah, we went
Anyway,
off topic. Yeah, we went
we did.
off way off topic. But it was a good conversation. Like
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully someone learned something there. Go
All
ahead.
right, let's go to the last topic. Because I need to end this.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah,
to go to
yeah,
bed
yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay, so the Ontario government said it is working to help more families access fertility treatments and is expanding access to in vitro fertilization services through Ontario Fertility Program.
Mhm,
So this includes a call for applications to all Ontario fertility clinics. And this was said by
mhm,
a news release from Ontario's Ministry of Health. The province said this will include spending of $250 million over 3 years to
mhm,
increase the number of clinics participating in the OFP, that's the Ontario Fertility Program, and shorten wait lists in both hospitals and community
mhm,
settings.
mhm,
The province is also implementing the new Ontario Fertility Treatment Tax Credit, which is retroactive to January 1st, 2025, said the
mhm.
release. That's interesting. I want to look more into that. So
That's
maybe
cool.
we'll touch base again on that one. Um, Health Minister Sylvia Jones said it is an historic, that's improper English. It is a historic event for Ontario families. Quote, as our government continues to protect Ontario families and the services they rely on, this historic announcement will triple the number of families benefiting from government funded IVF services. With more clinics, uh, yeah, with more clinics participating in the Ontario Fertility Program, more people and families across the province will be able to access government funded fertility services faster, more conveniently, and with more financial support.
Mm,
Because again, if anyone who has ever been a part of fertility treatments or is currently in it, hi, me, but not IVF.
huh,
Even though the actual like transfer or stuff like that is funded, the medications are not. And the
huh,
medications, I mean, I complain about the medications that I take now, and it's fairly expensive.
huh.
It's even worse if you do IVF. It's this ridiculous amount of money. Um, so the new refundable Ontario fertility treatment tax credit builds on Ontario's existing medical expense tax credit, offering further financial relief to couples and individuals in their journeys to start or grow their family. The credit will provide up to $5,000 in annual support by covering 25% of eligible fertility related expenses, including IVF cycles, fertility medications, travel for treatment, and diagnostic testing, said the government release. I really need to look into this for
Mm,
personal reasons. Um, Assisting OFP clinics seeking additional IVF funding, as well as new clinics seeking to participate in the OFP for the first time, are eligible to apply, with the government releasing the successful applicants in late 2025, said the release. So, I mean, I don't know how you go about like asking your fertility clinic if they have done an application for this. But I mean, if you feel comfortable doing so, like, I mean, I wouldn't particularly go to my fertility clinic and ask them. I'm going to assume that they are going to do that, if they are capable of doing so. Um, but if you feel comfortable enough doing that, if again, if you are a fertility clinic in Ontario, um, definitely ask those questions and see if that's possible because, I mean, again, increasing that amount, like they said, live gives, a break on the wait list. You don't have to wait as long. Because I know currently that wait is about 2 years for IVF. For the benefit, if you're going to do IVF, the IVF funded cycle is a
Mhm,
2 year wait list. So
mhm,
if that can kind of take that load off of the wait list and make it shorter, then I mean, I hope that most fertility clinics in the province will do that. Um, so yeah,
mhm. Okay, interesting.
wait,
All right. Okay,
that's it for me.
so well, all right. So this ends episode 125 of the Next Tape Podcast. The Next Tape Podcast is available now on all podcast platforms. We're we also have a website called I almost forgot.
Yeah, I
What
could
I was
tell.
supposed to say that. We also have a website called Tanika.
Nextdaypodcast.podpage.io.
And where else we at?
Facebook and Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod.
Okay. And you can contact us at our email at mikeltanika@gmail.com. That is mikeltanika@gmail.com. So I kind of lost track of what we talked about from
Yeah.
yeah. So like yeah, we talked about a lot of things like
We talked about like the people who silence their phones,
mhm,
what that can mean.
mhm,
We talked about the license plate reader that caught the wanted man.
mhm, mhm,
We talked about the fertility
mhm,
benefits
mhm,
going up for IVF funded
mhm.
cycles. And
Yeah, I talked
yeah,
about parenting as well. Like
yeah.
basically,
We
bonus
talked about people
conversation.
who reach 100.
Yeah,
Talked
yeah,
about that too.
yeah, yeah. Different countries who have a population of people who are 100 years old. So like yeah, we talked about a few things and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Um,
Actually,
anything
I
else?
have one more. Yeah, I do. Actually, I have one more
Go
thing
ahead, go ahead,
I
go
have
ahead.
this thought about
Yeah,
that I wanted to
yeah,
add about
yeah.
the people who reach 100 in the States.
Yeah.
They also have the best healthcare system as long as you can pay for it.
Really
Yes.
better than ours?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
I was,
100%.
they're always complaining about us.
They
Well,
complain
like
about
we
us
have
because we get free healthcare,
healthcare.
but the healthcare in comparison
Uh-huh.
to the States is night and day
And you have to
because
be a
they
Canadian.
pay for it.
Yeah.
So they get better medical care
Okay.
than we do, honestly.
Oh, right. All
So
right.
that's another
Yeah,
reason.
they because we get it free and they're a little bit slower.
We get kind of the end of the stick because it's free.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Obviously, it can be beneficial in
I mean,
cases
obviously,
of
yeah.
surgeries and stuff like that. Because I can imagine what I would have had to do to pay for my
Mhm,
surgery
mhm,
last year. So, it has its benefits, obviously. But
mhm.
um,
And
yeah.
you have to be a Canadian citizen for it to be free. You can't be an
Oh yeah, yeah,
American.
yeah, yeah.
There's a
No,
lot
no,
of
no.
Americans that come over here and just say it's like, oh,
No, no, you have to
they
be a
lied.
Canadian citizen.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to
they
be a Canadian
lied.
citizen. You don't get that. But like again, like I've seen that even with a plaintiff
Yeah,
that had to go to the hospital after being hit by a vehicle.
yeah.
We were the defendant, but
And they got transferred there.
no, they were here because they were visiting their daughter,
Oh, okay.
who was going to school here,
Yeah,
and they're from India,
yeah.
and
They were
her
complaining.
hospital bill, holy shit.
Yeah, they were complaining. Yeah. I thought healthcare was
Actually, it
free
was
here.
no, they were able to. I think they did pay it, but I mean, it's a lot of money. It was
Yeah.
pretty sure it was over. Again, this was like no surgery or anything like that. It's like
Yeah,
medications, diagnostics, and that kind of thing.
yeah.
But it was like maybe over $3,000 or close to $4,000 hospital bill. Yeah,
I mean, that's still a lot, but
it is
that's
still,
you
it is
know,
a lot.
that's a you can pay you can do you can do a monthly payment like that. That's
Yeah,
still
but if
not
you're not from the country,
yeah,
it's a little difficult,
true. That's
you
true. Yeah, I
know?
forgot. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And
and I
like,
guess it.
I'm not
I
going to
don't
say what
know.
her salary was, but like I had to do the conversion because she was being paid in rupees, but
Mhm.
it wasn't a lot of money.
Mm.
There's no way in hell she would have been able to pay that in a
Mm.
monthly payment type situation.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah,
But yeah. Like, and then they complained that healthcare. And I thought they thought healthcare is supposed to be free here, but you
it's
realize
not,
that you
but again,
have
it's not
to
always free.
you have to be a Canadian citizen
Yeah, but again,
for it to be.
not everything is free.
Or, yeah, not everything's
You,
free.
you can go to your doctor, yes. You can go to the hospital,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
But not all medications are free.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, most medications are not
Unless you get
even paid through your OHIP. You have to have private insurance, just like they do. Um,
prescribed,
we don't have,
prescribed.
dentists aren't free. Eye
Oh no,
doctors
that's
aren't
just
free. None of that stuff is free. We don't, not
unless,
everything in our healthcare is free
unless you have insurance. Oh,
unless you
like
have insurance. But even then, like, you still have to pay out of pocket.
yeah.
And if you go to the dentist, I mean, the standard is 80%. So you're still paying something out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not everything is free in the Canada as much as maybe people want to think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the most important part of going to the hospital is then the medications they may prescribe.
Mm-hmm.
And OHIP does not cover that. You
Right.
have to have private insurance, otherwise you are screwed.
Yep. Yeah.
If it's an
Yeah.
expensive medication, yeah,
Yeah. 100%. 100% agree.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and that's it. I'm done now.
Okay. All right. So I'm Mikel, and
And I'm Tanyka.
we're out until.
Thursday, I think.
All right. Peace, guys.
Bye.